All right, another GOOB, General Order of Business. Now, what's cool today? Uh, well, few cool things. I won't talk about the local stuff as much because, local RE things, basically dropping liens on anybody at this point. Noticing a few things about the RE industry, the real estate industry, the way that they control the supply. Tain't cool. Tain't at all cool. Gotta clean up this town, I'm telling you. Gotta clean it right up. Then I might move on to other towns. I don't know, we'll see. But really, that ain't cool. Not when there's a homelessness problem. You know, I mean, like housing is a right. And real estate is not regulated, right? So I'm going to get right in there, and I'm going to do what they do, except with no mercantile intention whatsoever. Because I can make money in other ways. I don't even really need money. You know, I'm kind of beyond that, to be honest. I'm not, but I am. I'm not, but I am. Anyway, this is a warning to the real estate industry. You better cut it out, okay? You better let those houses go and allow people to live in them. Because that ain't cool, what you're doing. The way that you control the supply, and you don't. You don't. None of you do. You might collude. You might think you can get rude with it. You might think you can get an attitude and say, we control this, we run this thing, we make the most money in this bring. Let us bring. You might think that you can hedge places. I clip the hedge. Man, you can call me the hedge clipper. No, I'm not kidding. I'm pretty pissed off about that, right? You know, people controlling the supply of housing in a hostile way against those who are seeking homes, with the total support of the state and police. Oh, that don't go down well with the global management. And I ain't kidding. I will steal everything from you. I'm not kidding. I will steal every house and give it away. And it's not that simple, right? Because people trash places and that, but not really. You know? Like, you know what's trash? Is allowing people to live on the street while there are good houses. That's really uncool. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. Because that's too controversial for the internet. That's court of the street style. Really it is. COS, City of Saskatoon, court of the streets. Caught seas. You're caught, bros. They told me. I learned it. I can drop liens on you like you couldn't believe it. It'll be wild when this gets going. But that requires a little bit of resources, right? A little tiny bit. And so I'm sandboxing with VOPay now. VOPay, VP. They are Canadian. They can do automated clearinghouse. They can do electronic fund transfer. Basically total financial transmission rate. And, you know, like, Swift is really good education for me. And I appreciate, like, all the standards they, like, kind of created in that. Like, or I guess they were doing it anyway, but they kind of threw this at me, like, hey, test these standards. And I'm kind of like, yeah, how do this? I mean, I could sandbox that, but I'm going to instead sandbox one that's more applicably Canadian. I actually got my API key now for VOPay, and that's really cool. API Sandbox. That means I can test their systems, develop systems, and basically we're on to payments block B now because we've finished Auth ID block B. Government never paid me for the research that I did in AuthStack, but whatever. I mean, like, I've got this somewhere here. Freaking Gatineau holds it for 6 months, and then they send it back, and they're like, oh, it's too late, or something. CRA's a bunch of hooter-nitties, honestly. They're ridiculous. But I'll work with private industry. The government was a good education program, too, learning how to negotiate with those people. Government. And, yeah. Basically, we're on to the next chapter here. Got over a little bit of personal stuff, and that doesn't really matter. The VoPay thing is pretty cool, though, I gotta say. If you're looking to become a bank, check out VoPay. Or, no, payment service provider. Not really a bank, PSP. Really. Because that's helpful. And, oh yeah, what's another thing that I did? Statement of claim against Ye Holdings, because they did make an oath to allow me to recover my property from the address that I assisted to vacate. Well, I mean, they committed entrapment against me when I tried to help them or whatever, But now it's no more Mr. Nice Guy with those people. Statement of claim, L6, parts 3 and 7, judgment issued. Monday morning, gonna drop down to the King's Bench and get the registrar to stamp that up and then email it off to Jennifer Huang. Really, I will do that. They got 20 days to respond from that. If they see this, they won't, because they don't look at anything. They didn't respond to the last one. Maybe that's because they knew it wasn't actionable, but this next one is very actionable. It's a judgment issued in the King's Bench, and you can do that in Saskatchewan. I don't know about other places, but you can just go right ahead and judge anyone you want around here. They got to defend themselves against your judgment too. You got to put it in the right form. It's not very hard, though, actually, as it turns out. You can just kind of grab that form off the government website if you know which one to look at. Form 39. L6. 3 and 7. No, really. Position of the lessee. The demised premise. I ain't kidding. And that's just the beginning.